Thank you very much, guys. Pandemic Legion coming back strong. Cult of War used the same setup for the third time in a row. Isn't that pretty much a death sentence, Kill 2?
Pretty close to it, especially against PL, who are paying attention. Yeah, I think that was a really bad idea. It wasn't even a really good setup. I mean, I guess they got all their points the first 2 matches, but I don't know. I mean, I think that's a bad idea.
It seems like one of those like passable setups. It has a lot of missile damage.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm not convinced.
You can also say that bringing again the same setup because people are not going to expect you to do that because it might be a bad idea. So reverse.
So it's like no one expects you to be that stupid.
Yeah. But I'm glad I still have the death touch.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the other one was just freak for Solar Fleet. So
just to put people off. T-Days. So Pandemic Legion, you know, win in battleships, win in battle cruisers, bring a handful of stealth bombers. What do you think about the setup?
I quite like the stealth bomber setups against the battleship setups. There's obviously a lot of DPS there. They had the remote ripping available from the scimitar, with the gang links off the claymore, making the sig very small on the bombers, afterburner fit probably, so that they're moving fairly quickly. Very little signature on there. The missiles just cannot hit them for decent damage because you're bringing cruise missiles most likely, with the golems and widows, because you're not going to want the widows in close. So they're just not going to hit them for any real damage, as we saw. They just couldn't break through the ripping.
So if anyone's sitting at home thinking that logistics pilot must have a hell of a job because they're going to be taking so much damage, that's actually not the case.
They take less damage. Obviously, you still need an on-the-ball pilot, and the guy was obviously switching. They were switching targets. He was able to keep the ripping going. But there's such a large amount of DPS from the bombers. If you can keep them up for long enough, they're just continually throwing torps out, and they are the absolute best counter at the moment to the battleships.
Okay. Well, if we can just take 2 minutes and go to the lovely Stevie SG, who is with the commentators, for just a quick chat.
Yep, indeed, you're back. Hello, I'm Stevie SG, and I'm here in the very snug commentary booth with Kroven and Rias Nia. And yeah, you've been busy on the forums. We do have a couple of questions. Obviously, it is Talk Like a Pirate Day. So we have a Veto member here. How are you doing, Rias?
Yarr!
But do you think people will be doing anything special today in Veto Corp, as it is Pirate Day?
I hope so. I mean, I think we had some operations planned pretty much for we plan operations for just about every weekend. I think they might be doing some photo shoots actually today on CC for a memorial video possibly. So hopefully, yeah, they're hopefully having a whole lot of fun. I wish I could join them, but, you know, a little busy right now, guys. So.
It's a hard life being a TV presenter. They also want to know, now Kia Eds is off, who has the best hair?
That would be me.
Very important question.
Oh, absolutely. That would be me.
Well, you've got your answer then, I guess. Yeah, right here.
It seems to be thinning on top, though.
You know, they keep saying that every year, and it doesn't go anywhere.
You know, that's the thing. You're just jealous. That's what I think. Anyway, if you have any constructive questions for the forums, obviously we did get a couple. We have here, do you think missile spamming logistics setups should stop being used?
Yes.
Yeah.
And tell them why.
Because it's boring.
Pretty much.
It's good, but it's boring.
It's a fair point to the people who argue that, you know, they're not here to be entertaining, but the tournament, the Alliance, is here to be entertaining, and we want to see a good fight. So if they're, you know, just shooting missiles for 15 minutes, it's bad for business.
There you have it, bad for business. As we are obviously entering the near end of the tournament and the stakes get higher, how do people change their setups?
Well, apparently a lot of them don't.
Yeah, a little surprised that Cult of War brought the same setup. They obviously thought it was a good setup. It did win them, I believe, 2 fights, 1 fight. By the way, nerd charts.
Cheating.
There's no such thing as cheating. Yeah, I mean, Cult of War, it won them 2 fights, which is a little bit surprising. But, you know, you got to be inventive. I mean, it's about scoring points. It's about knocking people out of the tournament. And it's about winning more than anything else. And you can't do that if you don't innovate.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially, you know, like Kill 2 said on the couch, when you know you're going up against Pandemic Legion, the defending champs, people who are known for bringing really effective kind of off-the-wall setups, I mean, I don't know if they just, you know, didn't have time. Maybe everybody was too drunk last night to come up with anything new for today, but it was just kind of a shameful showing that you can't, you know, it's a shame when good teams that have performed well with good setups don't vary that setup and just get crushed when it's serious business time.
People also want to know if the Goom match was rigged. Do you think it was rigged?
I hope so.
I think it would be great if it was. And, you know, I'm a complete sucker. You can scam me any day, all day long. I fall for it every time. So even if it was just a troll, a fantastic troll, I bet.
Yep, it was a very, very good troll. I think that's it for us, and we will of course be here for the remainder of the day. Well, I will anyway. These guys may get changed around, but if you do have any questions, go to our forums. There's a Stevie SG thread. You can post them there, and I can get your constructive or unconstructive questions to these guys. Anyway, I'm going to pass it back to Soundwave in the studio.
Thank you very much, guys. Obviously, I am the member of the Alliance tournament staff with the nicest hair, just to get that out of the way. Guys, let's talk a little bit about ships. 4P, if you could pick your favorite ship in EVE, what do you enjoy flying the most?
Wow. I fly so many ships. I don't really have, to be honest, I have a favorite. I really enjoy flying interceptors.
Yes.
I try to get into one-on-ones against other interceptors. I really like those fights. You know, if I go into a big ship like a battleship, I don't mind flying a Nightmare. That's a really nice ship.
Yes.
I haven't done the Tech 3 cruisers, but that's next on my list.
Yeah, and you used to fly Vagabonds as well, as far as I know.
Still do.
Still do? Oh, okay.
They don't have they don't have that thing in them.
No.
Yeah, let's not even talk about that.
Let's not do that.
But yeah, I fly everything.
Yeah.
I don't really, it's just what needs to be used to win the fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good approach to it. Kill 2, favorite ship.
I want to say my favorite ship is Macario, but I've never flown one. So it's hard to say that. Armageddon, I guess, would be my most beloved ship.
Why?
Based on history. I don't know, I've killed a lot of people with it. It kills people really good. It has so many low slots,
Yeah.
and it's
Kills
a Mar.
them good.
It does.
What does that mean?
Well, like for instance, when you fly your interceptor, and then you find a ship bigger than your interceptor, you can't kill it.
Yeah, you can.
No, not my Armageddon.
It kills people good.
It kills Tyrannuses good, just like everyone else.
Yeah, and it's financially, it's not a massive loss.
Yeah, that's true. I like cheap ships a lot. That's
Yeah.
why I haven't flown Macario. I like stuff that you can insure and get your money
Yeah.
back. And Armageddons are always cheap. They're always like $4 mil after insurance, so you can
Yeah.
just spam them and
Yeah.
you wind up killing something even if you suck.
And then you put a whole host of faction modules on it and lose $500 million, and then it's really not worth it.
That's true.
T-Days, favorite ship.
I like the Tier 1 battle cruisers
Yeah.
quite a lot, so I don't fly them as much as I should, but Cyclones and Ferox. Ferox is a bit of a dark horse. You
Yeah.
put blasters on it and people don't expect it. It just gets in people's faces and makes them dead.
Yeah. Of all the years I've played EVE, my main character cannot fly a capital ship. Never has been able to, never will be.
You're lucky.
Yes. I don't, yeah. I like the cruiser. Cruiser recons. I used to love the recons, especially like the stealth ones.
Yeah, you like hiding rather than fighting stuff?
Yeah. I like hiding and finding some miner who can't fight back, and then I kill him, and then I'm like, I'm really good at PvP.
But what do you think is the most surprising Tech 1 cruiser?
The most surprising?
Yeah.
Well, it'd have to be something that cloaks. Otherwise, they're pretty much, hey, I'm a Tech 1 cruiser.
I'd say
Very
the
unsurprising.
Bellicose is pretty surprising.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because you're like, oh, it's a piece of junk.
Yeah.
And then it's actually almost as good as like a Rupture. I almost lost a Vagabond to a Bellicose, and I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
The MOA is also a very
That can-
surprising,
Yeah.
We were talking about, Trisbit
High
loves talking
DPS.
about the blow-up.
good, you know, passive tank. It's one of
Yeah.
those ships that, you know,
Yeah.
can surprise you.
Amar, I have a little bit of difficulty with the cruisers.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah, well, that's one way of saying it, but yeah, they're not like Minmatar or Valente or, Thorax is like a classic. Thorax is just a solid ship.
I
Yep.
think people like to put Caldari and Amar in this kind of, they're bad at PvP category, but really I view them as specialized. And
yeah.
so like the Mauler,
Yeah.
it's a terrible ship to like take to it's the 1v1 or something like that. Or it's not terrible, but it's not good. I don't like it. It's a
Are
bad
you
ship.
crazy?
But
Jesus Christ.
if you use it as bait, it's outstanding. It can take tons and tons of damage. And so it's good for that. Jeez, I didn't know you loved the Mauler so much.
Guys, before we get into this discussion, I think we're going to have to watch
Goose
another
frappa,
match. I'm
goose
really
frappa.
sorry. we have the Blanket Men, supposedly Atlas's B team, I believe.
Or A-team.
Or more likely A-team, versus Cry Havoc, a team that really does well constantly in the tournament. T-Days.
Well, obviously, Blanket Men have got 2 wins at the moment. Cry Havoc lost their last match against the Terrorists, so it's going to be tough. I don't know, Blanket Men, I think, based on their setups, they've changed things quite a lot. I like it.
Kill 2.
Cry Havoc is sweet. Josiah Puff is the man. I hope they don't bring Paladins.
Okay. For P.
Cry Havoc. Sorry, guys.
I'm going for the Blanket Men then. Let's go.